learned enough in this 12-hour time span.
My brain can't even take nothing else. I can't learn anything else from him.
So I can ask the questions to y'all then. So Sierra, when did you meet E?
When did we meet? Last year?
Last year. March.
Yep.
I know.
That was March. That's all I remember it March.
It was March.
In LA.
In LA.
On your the video set.
Yeah.
What was your first impression of him?
He lit.
He lit?
I was thinking, not only are you lit, like he was passionate about his work. Like, I don't know, he cool, but when he in work mode, it's a whole different person. Like work mode, and that's how he was. And I'm like, okay. He's like, yeah, man, nice to meet you. All right. Where the girls at? We back in the hot tub. Come on, action.
Calling his own shots.
Yeah. Nah, it was good. But that's what I first realized. I'm like, okay, he's serious. He's not just doing it to say he a rapper, like, or just something to do. It's not counterproductive. He really mean that.
So if there was one thing you could change about him, what would you change?
Is this uncensored?
Very much so. This is gonna go on our YouTube channel.
This gonna go on YouTube? Well, maybe I don't want to.
Now you can say it. Some of it's gonna be edited out.
Never mind.
It's gonna be, no, you can say it. It's in safekeeping.
It's like DT Uncut.
Yeah, it's in safekeeping.
You know, you going places, and every move you make today reflects the future. Relationship, woman-wise, all of that, okay? That's all I'm gonna say. And be careful with the leeches, because girls be trying to trap.
Yeah, they do.
So if there was one thing, what's the one advice that you can give to him that you learned from everything that you've done?
Well, keep being consistent. Keep being consistent and persistent. Like, since I met him, it's been tempo. Like, he not letting up. That's what I like. That be keeping me on my toes, too. Keep being great.
So I think I got all the questions for you. So tell us how y'all met.
We met through a mutual friend at the time.
A mutual former friend. It's like, edit that.
Cut that part. We're gonna cut that part.
But he had actually, it's not like this, but he had actually slid in my DM.
Damn.
But it wasn't.
But that's what I'm talking about.
But it wasn't like him sliding in my DM to talk to me.
He going for where
he actually slid in my DM and was trying to ask me to manage him.
Mm-hmm.
And I was getting so many people sliding in my DMs asking me to manage them. And just being in this field, I never wanted to do that. So I had him left him on red for a long time. Since 2017.
Was you in her bed?
I just went. My first DM from him was November 24th, 2017.
This is 2022?
2020.
So did you answer him in that DM?
No, I did not.
No,
why?
It's a lot.
So why? So let's get into wow.
I love
Aaliyah 4-page letter. He wrote you a dissertation basically. So he wrote a dissertation?
But that's what I'm talking about. Like,
yeah, he did. I mean, he told me who he was. Another mutual friend of ours told him to reach out to me, and he did. He just didn't get a response from me. I mean, and that's because I never wanted to manage an artist. You know, just being in the entertainment industry, I've seen it all, and that's not what I wanted.
So what changed your mind?
When I met him, he was very focused on what he wanted, and to Sierra's point, consistent. He's the same person, you know. It's no fakeness about him. He the same. What you see is what you get, pretty much. Except for when it comes to female, he's very shy.
And that's like kinda.
It is.
Cause that's crazy.
That's crazy. I didn't understand. I didn't understand.
So
this.
what don't you understand about that?
Strategy.
I don't understand how he's so forceful and forward when he's rapping, versus speaking with a female. Like, I just don't understand, because it seems like that it would be easy for him to have those type of conversations, especially somebody like him that's a rapper that can freestyle off the top of his head. You know what I'm saying? So I just that part still puzzles me.
Baffles you.
So let's dig a little deeper into that, because that baffles you, and you see that he's an artist, but you see that so where does that sit with you as far as him as an artist? Like, you know him in personal life and you know him in work life, and you know that he gonna say what he gonna say, but you know he not really he not gonna act on it.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about that?
I don't necessarily feel. I'm gonna stay out the way of the. I'm gonna stay out the way.
Is that different for you to see that?
It is different for me to see that, because a lot of artists I've seen, they don't have a problem with talking to females, calling them, texting them, or anything. I don't think he have a problem with texting. He just have a problem face to face. He doesn't feel comfortable with that face to face interaction. And I think also he may not know, but I think it plays a part for being locked up for so long. You know what I'm saying? So that's what. So I think it's funny though to see that he gets like that around females. But I mean, it's kind of.
So that's a good segue into what I was kind of trying to hint on to, because he's been locked up for so long and he really wasn't around females, but now that he's around
A lot of females.
a plethora of females, and he has a choice, but he chooses not to choose.
Yeah.
Because he wants to be the chosen one.
Right.
And so how do you feel as far as like when you see other people in the light, and it doesn't have to be with just artists, I mean just like, the people in the daily industry that you work in, how do you feel about that? Like when you see that, how does that make you feel as a manager? Like do you recant, or do you want to say, nah, this might not be for me, or you still rocking with it?
I still rock with it, but as I told him, I'm one and done with this, and I'm only doing it for him because I see how much he wanted. And it's probably, don't get me wrong, there's probably a lot of artists out there who is consistent and persistent as E, but for me, I'm not doing it again. Like, it's a lot of work, and I don't think people realize how much work it is. And so for me, it comes easy because I've been in this industry, and so I have the relationship, so it comes a little easier. But he teaches me some things too. I teach him things. We learn from each other.
So how does that correlate into your relationship as far as like when you're working? You being this top tier mogul, and yes you are. Yes you are. So we gonna keep that there because we know what she is, and we not about to let you downplay yourself in this
I'm sorry,
company.
edit it, because it's the biggest boss.
The biggest boss. Okay, we gonna say that. So with you being at the top part of your game after being in it for so long, and this guy comes around and he's teaching you new things that you never really knew before, how does that make you feel? Like, because I know as a leader, sometimes you could feel like, nah, you don't got to teach me nothing because I know it. But then sometimes, depending on what type of leader you are, it could be different for you. So, in your leadership style, how would you characterize your relationship when it comes to learning and not teaching?
Yeah, I think I like learning, but most leaders probably wouldn't like it. But he teaches me a lot, especially when it has to do with, he built his own social media platform. And for me, I was never big on social media. You know, it was like I'm gonna post what I want to post, but he taught me like about algorithms and things like that, and when to post, what to post, my engagements and all that. I knew a little bit, but not as much as I know now. And even when it comes to the record industry, right? I was in entertainment and worked for networks and worked, of course, for um, Sean Combs, but I never did that level of work, like, you know, researching like how these record labels do things, and until I got with him, and I had to start learning about contracts and you know things like that. So it's been great. I wouldn't change that because I love learning, and I feel like whatever I learn, I can teach the next person.
So, what would be if there was one thing that you could tell him right now that you know that he could take it to the future and knock it out the park with no problem? What would you tell him that he needs to stay on? Like there's things that you know that he's good at, and there's things that he still need to work on. What is his strong point? Which one of his strong points would you point out to say this is the one that you need to carry all the way through?
I mean, just what Sierra said is consistency. I think consistency is the key to everything. And he's not only consistent, but he's persistent. As she said, like he's going to be like, look, who said I can't get in?
Right.
Well, call, Anisha, can you call this person? Or do you know somebody over there? Like he will find a way. And if he can't find a way, he's going to call me. I'll call Sierra. Between the three of us, we'll figure it out. And it may not be us personally, but it may be someone I know, or someone Sierra knows, or someone he knows, but he may not know the right questions to ask. So
At least you know how to exhaust those resources.
he definitely does.
So my last question and my final question to you would be, what is one thing if you know that he could take it to this next season? What would you say he should take? Because you know every season we drop something off.
Right.
And we pick something up, but something always stays the same. And what would you say that stay the same thing is for him?
I think the way he raps, you know, I think, as he mentioned earlier in the interview that he had, when people switch up for the season, that is usually the one season that they have, and then you don't hear from them anymore. And so for him, I think the way he raps, the type of music that he put out is good for him. And I mean, and I think it's consistent, and I think it works because he's not trying to be within the season.
I like that. And we're going to Ice.
Rap or some shit.
Oh yeah.
So Ice.
He over at rap Afghanistan.
Who's that?
So
Oh, send me that picture. Am I? Yeah.
no, you good. So Ice. So tell me, how long have you known E?
Jesus Christ. About 20, over 20 years. It's like 25.
So we know that you know what I'm saying, was knocking them out, you know what I'm saying? We know that you came to save the day and you was basically the bodyguard. So my question is,
On crutches.
he was on crutches, right? And you came and you basically saved his life, right? Why did you do that?
I just remember Elmo. Can we say Elmo?
You can say it, Mom.
Yeah. In the hallways, he, like you said, he's always been the same. So even now, my friends and I talk about like how we would be in high school. He would be in the hallways, but we would always find joy in him. And like if we saw Elmo in the hallway, it made our day. Like, who class was that you used to skip in? He wasn't even in the old lady class. And he would just come in just because his personality has always been home. It's always been welcoming. It's always been love. So I just knew he made my heart happy, and he still does. And I was like, yeah, that's family. So when that happened, I was like, nah, you can't fight my family.
And you didn't care how many people was out there.
Nah.
So how many people did you knock out that day?
I was always fighting. Always fighting. Boys, girls, and then
So you wasn't just knocking them out. and now you're praying for them, right?
Yes,
Okay.
I am praying.
So let's talk about, you have a personal relationship with him. You've known him since high school. And you've known him throughout the whole time that he was locked up until he came home. So what was the difference between you knowing him while he was locked up versus the time, let's fast forward to, I say, what's this, 2022? I say to 2018. What was the major difference that you realized in him?
The major difference that I realized in him, well, first I want to say the consistency that we see now has always been the consistency. He's been in jail. He was making a record label in jail. He was creating people to work under his record label in jail, and just really excited about it in jail, like really pushing music in jail. So I'm like, how is he doing that behind the four walls, and there's people out here that ain't moving anything? So that is something that he's remained consistent in for years. So what I've seen now from when he's going out the door, from out of jail, of course, is him then being able to not only find the relationships, but nurture the relationships and make sure he do right by what he said. Like, I feel like any one of us that know E, that can put his career, like, he's not no one that you would not put in the room. I would bet on you. Like, whatever it is.
Speaking of putting in a room, when you're in a room and he's not in the room, what's the first thing how would his name come up in a conversation, or how would you introduce him in a conversation that you know he's not in that room? What's what they call it, your elevator pitch?
My elevator pitch.
Yeah. What's your elevator pitch on E?
I got this brother. He's a rapper, but he's a household name. Like, that's all I tell E that he is, because I feel like he's supposed to reach the masses with his story. Not everyone listens to rap music, and that's fine. But he has a story to tell, and he's going to gravitate to the people that's talking on stage. He's going to gravitate to the people that's watching movies. He's going to gravitate to the people. Everybody is going to receive from him. So I always be like, I got this brother who's a household name. He can act, he can rap, he can model. Whatever you need him to do, he is the person that's going to do it, and he's going to do it consistently.
Okay. My last question to you, what is one thing that you think